is CGTN, China Global Television Network.
African artists who have made it big on the global stage are few and far between. Among them is Chief Nike Davies Okundaye, a Nigerian textile artist and painter. At 68 years of age, Mama Nike, as she's fondly referred to, is an icon in her own right. With a career spanning 5 decades, the textile queen's art pieces grace some of the most prestigious art galleries in the world, and her fabrics are celebrated as contemporary jewels of traditional African art. Today, Mama Nike is on another mission, to pass on generations of knowledge and skill to the future custodians of Nigerian cultural heritage. I sat down with Mama Nike at the Nike Art Gallery to explore her unrivaled passion for art, her mastery in the business of textiles, and her quest for cultural preservation in Africa. From Lagos, Nigeria, I am Yofefe, and this is Talk Africa.
To the eastern side of Nigeria's bustling commercial capital of Lagos is the peninsula of Lekki, which serves as a home to the world-renowned Nike Art Center, West Africa's largest known art gallery. The Nike Art Center houses contemporary and traditional Nigerian art and has over the years established itself as only part of a culmination of over 5 decades of work that its founder, Chief Nike Davies Okundaye, put into her passion. But her portfolio of art centers does not end here. Her headquarters sits in the city of Osogbo, with at least 2 other art centers in the cities of Ogidi and the capital city of Abuja. The African queen of art and textile has also mastered the art of giving back. Her center in Osogbo, which started off with 20 homeless girls, has today overseen the training of over 3,000 youth who survived abuse. The center in Osogbo further opened its doors to international students for industrial programs in textile design, welcoming trainees from other African countries, the USA and Europe. Chief Nike's work has not gone without global recognition. In April 2019, she received an honorary doctorate degree of fine art from the Rhodes University in South Africa. In 2015, a plaque of achievement was launched in her honor by the National Block Art Theatre of New York, and earlier in 2012, she also received a plaque of honor from the Nigerian Council of Art and Culture, as well as recognition from the National Commission for Museums and Monuments. The 68-year-old custodian of art attributes her success to not just her craft in art and textile, but also the support she has received from her family, and most of all, her husband.
First thing a man should discover in his wife, the talent that God has given her. Once you discover that, you will now help her to boost that talent.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mama Nike. Now, the Adire is what you are famous for. It's a Nigerian fabric which was on the brink of extinction, but now it has come back to life thanks so much to your efforts. And from there, you've gone on to many other forms of artistic expression. In fact, you just recently celebrated 50 years of artistic creation in the business world, and they threw you a huge party. What was running through your mind? Because as I understand, it was family, friends, and your fans from all over the world that came to the party.
Yes, I thank you people for taking time from no time to visit the gallery, because when you talk about art, it's our treasure in Nigeria. And the way they pass education to kids in those days, that is how I learned the textile art from my parents. And learning this textile, I lost my mother at the age of 6. I lost my grandmother at the age of 7. Then I have to have a focus and see how I can make life through art, because I was just doing it. And my great-grandmother is the head of all the women in the village, and she was passing this knowledge to me. I was crying every day. I said, why? I want to go to school. Why do you want me to be doing Adire? But today, I thank God because that Adire that is dying off has come back to life. I do it and I die it. It's what they call Adire, Adire. And the whole Nigeria is the work that people pass on to their generation. In Kano, they pass indigo pit and tie and dye. In the Cross River, they do stitching and they dye it. All the different parts, the Yoruba paint with feather and cassava. So the whole Nigeria, the textile that they know Nigeria for is called, I do it, Adire, I dye it.
I didn't realize that, but you know, it's interesting you mentioned your own story, which is so fascinating. You were in a way kind of born into this because the village you're from, Odiji Njuma, is the village where Adire is practiced. And I just assume there are many, many women making these fabrics. What is it, Mama Nike, about your Adire that has made it stand out and become internationally acclaimed? Is it your unique patterns and motifs?
Yes, the pattern and the communication, which is through the pattern of Adire, is what I'm still following up, because the secret of Adire, they always say we are not going to let anybody know. But that pattern has to be written down, and my daughter has wrote a book on that pattern. And what makes my own Adire to stand out is the way we are still following the old tradition. Before telephone come, they talk through the fabric. When you go to Abeokuta, they make Oloba. Ibadan create a design called Ibadan is sweet. Ibadan, we enjoy Ibadan. That design is created in Ibadan. Then the one in Abeokuta, why they call it Oloba? When the king and the queen come from UK, it was Abeokuta who made the stencil Adire, and all the people that welcomed the king were wearing it. They are telling him, we are happy. You are a king, and they put the picture of the king on the pattern. So that is what makes our own Adire stand out. And that is the knowledge I'm passing to the whole university in Nigeria. My center in Osogbo is my headquarters, where when you go there now, you will not see less than 80 to 100 students. Then my real village is called Ogidi, Ijumu in Kogi State. We still have about 300 women who are practicing the Adire, and they are employing them to come and teach in different organizations now, because Adire that is dying off is coming back. Actually, Adire come from Indonesia, the batik, the world batik, India and Indonesia. They are the one who call it batik. Uganda call it Kampala.
So it's kind of a universal type of process.
That.
I've got to ask, is this heavy?
Actually, this is called Gele Gala. Professor Wale Soyinka gave this hair tie Gele Gala. He said on Gala night in UK, when they go for the horse riding, everybody wear the most beautiful hat. And you know, in Africa, Nigeria love their hair tie. And this hair tie is our crown. A woman, every woman in Nigeria is a queen of their husband. And the queen has to wear the crown. And the crown is our hair tie. Or sometimes we braid our hair to make it like a crown. So this hair tie is not heavy. I do it in 2 minutes. I put it on in 2 minutes because people are paying a lot of money. And it's taking almost 1 hour, sometimes half an hour to put the hair tie. So we now call it auto gele. The one they are doing just 1 step. But my own, as I started the Gele Gala, is 3 or 4 steps.
It seems like you were destined to be in the artistic world, right? As you've mentioned, you were born to parents. Both of your parents were artists of different kinds. And you were born also on this Western Nigeria village, which was also home to artisans who made Adire. So as a child, when was it that you got switched on to the fact, hey, I'm quite good at this?
When I finished primary 6 and I don't have money, I passed secondary school. I don't have money to go to school. I was crying to my great-grandmother. He said, don't worry, just do this. You will make it. Then I said, do this. but I have no money to start. So I went to be a babysitter with an Indian woman. So at that place, I will be doing embroidery and the beads on the, so I will use it to make an angel, and they will put it on the altar. That is how I said. So the Reverend sisters are now buying it to put it on the altar. Then I said, oh, maybe what I'm doing, I should not even do babysitter anymore. I should just focus on the textile.
And this is when you were about 14 years
yes,
old?
14 years
at
old.
primary 6.
Yes.
Something quite traumatic happened at this point in
Yes.
your life. You actually dropped out of school,
yes.
and you ran away from home.
Yes.
Tell us about that period.
My father is a farmer and also an artist who have nothing. So at the age of 14, he actually wanted to marry me out to a minister. And the minister is giving him money. So one day, where I'm doing my babysitter, he just come and say, oh, I want to marry you out. I say, eh? You want to marry me at the age of 13, 14? That is how I run away. I now join a traveling theater. From there, I learned how to dance, how to sing, I'm a child person, very like people who are very shy. So I have to go on stage for me to be able to eat. So they now put me on stage. I have to be dancing with the other professional. That is how I started the theater. So for 2 years, I was going with the theater all over, and that is what really made me focus and said, let me do the art that I know how to do. When they withdraw me back from the theater to the village, I said, I'm not going to stay in this village. What am I going to be doing? Let me go to Osogbo, where my mother's sister married. And my great-grandmother said, don't go, just stay with me. I said, okay, but I cannot sell my work here. So in Osogbo, all of the women there, they do Adire, and my mother's sister is one of the leaders of the Adire maker. Then she said, you will be working with me, I will be selling it, and I will look after you. That is how I moved to Osogbo.
So even through the twists and turns of life, the
yes.
art kind of followed you wherever you go. And when you eventually made your way to Osogbo, you did eventually marry, not
yes.
too many years
yes.
later.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about this first marriage of yours.
Okay, when I married to this man, who is one of our renowned artists, his name is 277, and he now make me the studio manager. So he said because of the work I'm doing, he want to marry me. Then there is a woman called Susan Wenja in Osogbo. I now went to her. I said, I want to be like her. She was married to a drummer. She's a white woman. And she come to Osogbo. She's the one who started the Osogbo school with Georgina Bayer. So then I went to her, I showed her my work. He said, you are already a professional. Why don't you focus on that and do it well? But this, my first husband, married 14 wives after me. So we are now 15 wives. Every day we quarrel, but we don't tell people. We said we are practicing traditional religion. It's not actually traditional. We have no choice because today we bring this one, we say, oh, this one will be your, this one is going to be the cook. So when you are working, you don't need to cook. This one is a dancer. That is how we get to 15. But when I get the opportunity of going to US and come back, they are the first people I teach how to do the Adire. I said, this thing, you can make money through it. Beside us working for our husband, let me teach you. Then I said, there is a place where we don't all need to marry to one man. So they said, take me there. Then I said, your work will take you there. That is how we make a little meeting and say, why do we even marry to this man? He said he's just so happy to see two women fighting on him. And he's a handsome man. That is why he married to us. Then we said, okay, we now make a meeting. I said, I had enough, I'm going. I left him, I lived there for 15 years. I left in 1982, and that is how the other women also followed. And we are able to get our independence. Each one of us find another man to marry. So I now married to a white man, having 2 golden babies. Then the white man finished job, he want to go back to UK. Then it is cold, and what I'm doing, I have liberated some of the women. And if I leave, they will go back to the same condition that we have to go and beg the man so he can take you back. Since you are making money through your own and you can get a man to yourself. So then I told him I want to stay here. So that is how I now married to police. With this man, I learned so much, everything about law from him, how everything has to be documented properly because government is very, ijoba lagba. Government is very important. So I learned about all the things that we don't even count as anything.
It's time for us to take a short break. Don't go away. We'll be back with more wisdom from Mama Nike.
Life moves pretty fast. Ideas move at the speed of sound. Technology moves at the speed of light. If you don't filter out the noise, you might miss the details. We pay attention to the details because they matter, showing you a different perspective. See the difference.
Welcome back to Talk Africa. We are here sitting down with Chief Nike Davies Okundaye, who is an internationally acclaimed artist, a painter, a textile designer, and also mama to her own children and countless other artists across Nigeria. Mama, now, speaking of artists, there are so many aspiring artists. There are so many talented artists, but you yourself have said when you started on this journey, you never expected to make a living from the art, but yet you've obviously become very commercially successful as well. So the question for you is, what is the secret to your success?
Well, the secret to my success is I always have a focus, and I always aim at what I want to gain, what I want to do. What I want to do next year, already I have it in plan. So I always package myself well. So when I'm going out, you know, I'm selling textile. I wear the best of my textile. Then I don't speak English much by then. I will say my signature might try. They will say, what? Then I'm saying, beautiful. When you wear this, you will look more beautiful. So that is how I was selling my clothes before I started selling the painting. So those people that I was training, their children are some of the artists that you are seeing their work here. I always mentor the other women. Then when they are working, their children is playing around, then I will say, it's better they also learn. That is how they pass education to me. A lot of these, my artists, their parents are textile artists. And from there, they use the money of the textile to train them to university, and they become a professional. Rom's mother was in Osogbo. She was a nurse. She's very, very active. Whenever we want to have a baby, we go to her. But she's a professional nurse. But because we are close as textile, the son went to university and become an artist, and here is me selling his work. So all the work you see here, I'm just a custodian. My own work is not even up to 200 here, but we have 25,000 pieces here, and when we sell, the secret to my success is I don't take much commission. I take 10%, and I give 5% to the government. Whatever I sell, I will call them. I will say, this is how much they are paying. So you don't need to give me percentage if I undersell your work. And that is why all the artists always come. They call me their mama. Sometimes they will say, I just have a baby, and so. Every Sunday, the male artists come for a meeting, and they are club, then they eat. Then the Saturday is for female artists in the evening. So the success I always encourage them. I will say, have a focus. Package yourself in a nice way. The sky is your beginning. Whatever you know you are good at, do it well. And that is what is helping my success till today.
on this area where you've made so much contributions, there are, I believe, 5 today, the Nike Art Centers across Nigeria, and more than 3,000 students have gone through your doors. Tell us why you decided to do this.
When I see that the way we are suffering and everything they will be saying, government should do this for us, government should do that for us, I say, why don't we be our own brother's keeper, our own sister's keeper? Whatever we have, let's share. Nigeria always share in those days. That is why they have apprentices. So if you are a tailor, you teach the other people how to do tailor. So that is how I said, let me open the center and see many people who have interest in the textile. So I will teach them how to fish, not to eat fish. So I opened the center. You are coming to learn free of charge. My son, my brother, all of us are the teacher when I started. So later on, I said, let me train the trainers. Train you, then you can train others. And that is how the center started to grow. So then I will say, after the training, any work you do is your own. But we do exhibition for you in Lagos. Whatever you sell, the money belongs to you. I will say, go and start your own business. Now you don't need a shelter from me anymore. Let me bring new people in. And that is how I have 5 centers in Nigeria. My headquarters in Osogbo have more students, more than. And the center in Lagos now is in Adire, where we have not opened fully. But the one in Ogidi, we have more than 300 women all the time from that whole area coming to learn how to do the textile, and that is what they are living on.
Would you say you're a feminist,
Oh,
Mama Nike?
I would say something like that, because my own is to make sure women have the power and know their rights, that if they vote, the vote is their voice. Before, I don't normally vote. They say, you have to vote. If you don't vote, how will they know what you are? So the same thing with work. If you don't work, how will you know what you are good at? So all the time I always say they have to work. Try to change to different style. If the textile is not selling, I can sell watercolor. If the watercolor is not selling, I can sell beadwork. That is why I train them how to do patchwork, how to do textile, how to do painting. Then all the artists that are supporting me are some of the artists like my own brother, and the percentage of 10% that I get, I add my own money to it to put down to buy them material.
Now, in the 50 years of your artistic career, you have produced probably countless pieces of artwork, including the textiles. Which one is your favorite?
I say the beadwork is my favorite because it's like the therapy for me. Whenever I'm doing this beadwork, I don't talk to anybody. I'm doing it in the night, and I can think and relax. That is why people say I don't sleep well. But that is the time I'm calm. So the work that I'm doing by then, I'm working with a spirit, and the spirit is the driver. So when I finish, I will say, oh, this is where I landed. So beadwork is one of the best ones.
Of the beadwork, there's one in particular I'm thinking of. Well, it's the Chibok girls. Tell us about what inspired you to do this piece of work and how long it took.
The Chibok girl, I first do the mothers. What happened is when they take our girls away, the mothers went and protest in the school under the tree. Nobody listened to them. So the picture is on the internet. Then I said, wow, nobody listened. These women are suffering. These are children that has grown in their hand. They suffer to train them. So I now said, maybe I should do a painting to create awareness. When people come, so when they see this painting, they will remember that these children, the mothers are suffering. So 2 years later, the CNN take over all the other news. That is why we always thank you people, the media, for spreading the news to the whole world. So then even Obama's wife is part of the Bring Back Our Girls. So I said, let me do the girls now. They brought part of the girls back, but they are not fully back. So then this work is representing the Chibok girls that the voice, we are telling everybody, please, still bring our remaining girls back. Even one of the Chibok girls, one of my cleaner is marrying to that one who escaped from the Chibok girls. So when she tell me the story, I cry. I said, let me make a painting that will make everybody remember. That is why I want people to, whenever they look at the Chibok girls, they will always remember that the girls has not come back. Not all of them come back, maybe 100 and something from 250. So we are still expecting the balance of the girls.
It's such a powerful use of the voice that you have, and certainly took a lot of time. And I understand something like this would cost in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I guess my question is, who are the patrons of these exquisite pieces of art that you create?
Okay, I will say the King of Morocco was here, and she come in. I don't even know he's a president. So she said, I saw your work on TripAdvisor, and I would like to have some. So the King of Morocco, the President of Ghana, the Chibok girls, the work is going to go to Ghana at the end of the day. So the people who are patronizing us, we have Engineer Yemisi Shilon, I will say they are not up to 10% of Nigeria. But Nigeria now are buying. Before is foreigners. People who are not from Nigeria are the one buying the art in the 60s, in the 70s. So they call it Oshobo art. But now, artists are so many. We have 45 galleries in Lagos. And the pieces of artwork we have here is about 25,000 pieces. And the people who are buying now, I will say 10% of them are Nigerian.
And for all of your achievements, you have been named a chief. In fact, you're a chief of a number of different localities. So it's not just Mama Nike, it's Chief Nike, Queen of Fabric, educator, philanthropist. You've really done it all, Mama Nike. You have wealth, you have a loving family, you have respect, but yet you have not slowed down. You just, as I understand it, started making jewelry as well. You're moving full steam ahead. What is it that you are trying to achieve at the end of your body of work? What is the legacy that you want to leave behind?
The legacy I want to leave behind is for people to always be creative, and also their voice is their work, to always work hard towards their goal. They shouldn't go back. There is no more going back. They have to go forward. And that is my own for all the female or men now, because I'm putting men, for them to always have a focus and follow their heart. The jewelry also is wearable art. So Alan used to do jewelry. So when I come back, because my father used to bead, then I said, oh, we should be beading on fabric as well. So we started that one, and now the beading on fabric is popular in Nigeria. So my legacy is for people to continue this art, so the art will never die. So the art will continue to live because it's our treasure, and they value the oil more than the art, but the art should be number one.
Mama Nike, thank you so much for sharing your
you.
Life story with us. We've learned so much, and I hope we'll have the opportunity in the future to learn more from you. It is said that the principle of true art is not to portray, but to evoke. And Chief Nike Davies Okundaye's artistic journey speaks of a firm grounding in African identity, its endurance in the midst of a fast-changing society, and the vast potential artistic heritage presents to Africa's youth. Thank you for staying tuned to this special episode of Talk Africa. And a warm thank you as well to my guest, Chief Nike Davies Okundaye, for her time. To catch this and previous episodes of Talk Africa, you can visit our social media handles on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Also, visit the CGTN Africa website for more of Talk Africa. Be sure to tune in again next week. From Lagos, Nigeria, I am Lufefe. Thank you and goodbye.